All right, it looks like things have slowed down a little bit, so we will go ahead and get started. My name is David Riley, Senior Coordinator for New Student Programs here at the university. Excited that you're able to join us this evening for the fifth installment of our post-summer welcome webinar series. Tonight's topic is talking about moving to Mizzou, so move in and welcome week, what to expect right there here at the start of the semester. A couple little housekeeping tips. We are using a webinar format, so if you can't see yourself, that's okay. You're not supposed to. The only folks you'll see on your screen this evening will be our panelists, our presenters for this evening. A couple other notes, the chat function and the Q&A function for tonight's program have been dismissed or disabled. You all had the opportunity to submit questions to us prior to this evening when you registered for the event. I know that our presenters this evening have worked hard to incorporate as many of those questions into their presentation as possible. I know that some of the questions that were submitted were pretty individualized, and in those cases, when you've got questions very specific to your situation, it's probably best to reach out to the appropriate office here at the university. And so with that said, tonight we have representatives from student engagement and from residential life for our presentation. And I will go ahead and invite them to introduce themselves this evening. Kenna, if you would maybe like to start.
Hello and welcome to Mizzou. My name is Kenna Cornelius. I am the Assistant Director for Student Engagement, which means I oversee involvement opportunities and campus activities.
And Jen?
Hi, I'm Dr. Jen McPherson. I'm the Associate Director here in Residential Life, and I oversee residential academic programs. And what that means is that I get to work with our hall coordinators and our resident advisors every day, and these staff members live in our halls to support our students and help them not only kick off their Mizzou journey, but also continue that Mizzou experience in our residential communities. But I'm excited to be here this evening.
And finally, just give a little shout out here to our colleague, Sadie. Sadie, would you like to introduce yourself? Oh, Sadie, it looks like you got yourself muted.
Hello, I'm Sadie. I am a strategist with the marketing team, and so I helped put this presentation together, and I'm just here for any support that needs to happen, but it's wonderful to meet you all.
All right. Thank you, Sadie. So with that said, Jenna and Kenna, would you like to just go ahead and get started with the presentation?
Certainly. Let's go ahead and get started. So moving to Mizzou, August, and I know Kenna can speak to the same, August is one of the most exciting times if you're working not only in higher education, but if you're working in student affairs. August is the day that we get up that entire month. We're excited to welcome our students back to campus. We're excited to partner with not only our campus partners in welcoming our students back home and to their new home, but we're also excited to be able to get connected with all of our community partners in Columbia. This evening, Kenna and I, we are here to make sure that we're starting your Mizzou experience off on the right foot and helping you along the way. And hopefully, as we're talking through our FAQs and our tips and our advice this evening, that we're able to answer the questions that you submitted to us, and thank you for doing that. We will also be sending out FAQs on our various websites and to our students who are moving into. So starting with Mizzou, with moving to Mizzou. First thing, let's get you ready to move to campus. So that first thing is all about picking an appointment. So picking a move-in time slot. You can pick an appointment to move to campus on the 17th or 18th of August, but if those dates don't work for you and you need an earlier date, our early arrival in residential life is August 13th. So choose a time slot and a move-in appointment that works with you and that works with your schedule, with you and your student or the student and the family. We want that time not to feel, we don't want you to feel stressed or pressured. So pick the time that works best for you. Also pick that time knowing that you'll have about 20 minutes to actually unload your vehicle, but that does not mean that you have 20 minutes to completely unpack everything. That 20-minute time slot helps us get as many Tigers moved in and parked and being able to move into their residence hall as quickly as possible. But we're going to have staff and volunteers. We have well over 500 volunteers ready to help you and your tiger move in on the 17th and 18th, as well as that early arrival date on the 13th. The next thing, so once you have your move-in appointments scheduled and you've scheduled that through your housing portal, you can download a move-in map. After August 1st, Sadie and her team has been helping us craft those move-in maps. And so with that move-in map, it's going to be on our housing website, so housing.missouri.edu. And on those move-in maps, you're going to notice that some of the roads are closed and some become one way, and we've got all of that identified on those maps, but we've also identified places where to park after you've unloaded your vehicle. So we've got temporary parking available on our campus during our move-in days, and we've highlighted specific garages and parking lots that are near your student's residence hall to help you with that transition. Use your regular GPS in your vehicle as you're coming to campus, but once you get to town, once you get to Columbia, go ahead and turn that GPS off and refer back to that Mizzou move-in map, because we've got specific directions on how to get you to your residence hall from our main corridors across campus. And lastly, make sure that you stick to that move-in time that you've chosen, so that move-in appointment. Try not to come early. We don't want you to have to wait in long lines. So if you can help us and stick to that move-in appointment, we'll take care of everything else of meeting you at your vehicle when you get to the res hall, helping you get unloaded and get you moved in to your student's room. Some other important reminders as you're getting ready to move to campus. Student IDs that were submitted online, they are going to be available at the one-stop shop, which is at our student center. The one-stop shop is open on the 13th, so that early arrival day, as well as the 17th and 18th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's on the main floor of the student center. As I mentioned earlier, temporary parking will be available for all of our students and families on our move-in days, and we have those parking locations indicated on all of our Mizzou move-in maps for you. And those are specialized to your residence hall that you're moving into. And also make sure you're checking your housing portal. So your housing portal, which you can locate on housing.missouri.edu, that has important information such as which residence hall are you living in, what your room assignment is, and you'll also have the ability to book your move-in appointment time in case you haven't done so. So what do you need to bring to campus? How to get you ready to come to campus, what items to leave at home, what items to bring. We have a pretty lengthy move-in checklist of different items that we recommend students to bring or to think about bringing, but also those items that are not permitted in our hall. So please check our website and you can download that move-in checklist. It talks about the for example, the certain size of a microwave or a refrigerator that your student can bring to campus, how many fridges that you can actually have in a room or a suite. All of that information is listed on that move-in checklist. And what we really want to try to avoid is that you're bringing items to campus and then you're having to send it back home with your family because it's either not approved or you don't have space for it in your room. So make sure you check that check-in list as soon as possible. Other things that can help you get ready for the move-in, you can pre-order linen sets from our bookstore. So instead of packing all of those bulky linens and towels, you can actually order from the Mizzou store, and your sheets and the towel sets will be in your room when you move in. And so that's a great feature and just a great benefit and opportunity to work with the Mizzou store for that. But you can also order items from local stores such as Target and Walmart here in town. But what we do recommend is that you don't ship it to the hall yet, because our hall desk will not open until the 13th, but it takes a few days to get those hall desks fully operational and being able to sort through all of the packages that are coming. So we definitely recommend that you order curbside pickup for either the day that you're moving in or the day after you're moving in. That will also help to make sure that you've got the items you need in your room when you need them. So once you're here, two big pieces of advice from me. One, get to know your RA. This is a student staff member who either a second or a third year student who has been in your shoes. They have experienced Mizzou move-in, whether it was last year or the year before. They're full of great advice on how to get connected across campus. Also advice with best places to eat in town or across campus, but also truly a great first connection for a student who is trying to find their place here on Mizzou's campus, whether that's with student orgs or clubs. That resident advisor, they're going to have loads of resources and opportunities to get you connected and get you involved on campus. And with our resident advisors, Residential Life, we have well over 200 resident advisors across our hall communities. And these students, they live on the floor. They also provide on-call support to our students and to their residents. So if you ever have a question or you're in need of something, or if you're like, I don't know about a certain organization or how to, like, for example, how to complete a work order, you can give your resident advisor on call, give that number a ring, and a staff member will be able to assist you 24/7. So the sooner you meet them, the sooner they can help you on your Mizzou experience. Also, Welcome Week. Our resident advisors are collaborating with our Welcome Week leaders, and many of your Welcome Week leaders are former RAs too. So this is a great partnership and relationship that we have with Welcome Week. And my colleague Kenna is going to talk about Welcome Week and that schedule and all of the events that are over those several days, and our traditional and our signature events. And so I will pause on that and let Kenna go into greater detail about the Welcome Week website, as well as the schedule. So what can you expect from Residential Life over the next week and a half? We're going to be sending you emails and updates, not only about our Mizzou move-in maps that drop on August 1st on our website, and those will be sent out via email as well. We're also going to be sending community welcome email. So you'll get a community welcome email from me talking about how to get involved and how to get engaged in your community and in your residence hall. You're going to get information on how to join student organizations and student leadership councils within our halls. So please stay tuned to your email. If you have not signed up for a move-in appointment, you will definitely be getting an email from our department just reminding you to sign up for that move-in appointment. Or if you haven't submitted your ID photo yet, you'll also receive an email from Residential Life just reminding you to try to get that done before you get to campus. So, and finally, for me, my top 5 Tiger tips to make your Mizzou experience, to make it a great one from day one is, 1, don't forget to select that move-in appointment and select a time that works for you. We've got plenty of move-in appointment time, so we're not going to run out, but pick the time that works for you and for your family. Stick to that time that you've chosen. Try not to come early. We don't want you to have to wait in lines. We want to be able to move in as many Tigers as quickly and as efficiently as we possibly can. Make sure to download our move-in checklist and our move-in maps. That's going to help you transition and travel to campus, but also remember to turn off that GPS once you get into town, because your GPS is going to take you one way and we need you to go a different way with our move-in traffic flow. And also prep ahead, don't mail ahead. So by prepping ahead, you can, if you want to, purchase those linen packs and appliances from the Mizzou store, and they're going to be waiting in your room when you get here. And so our staff and our colleagues over at the Mizzou store, starting at the end of next week and the week after, they're going to be putting those orders in your student's room. But if there's items that you want to purchase at like Target or Walmart, go ahead and do that, but try to do curbside pickup. Again, because of that increased package flow, there would be a delay through our hall desk in getting that package to you. And then next, make sure you're establishing a relationship with your resident advisor, getting to know them on day one. We're going to have first floor community meetings starting on the 18th. So you're getting to know other residents on your floor, but also the RAs who are overseeing your floor too. And then finally, check our Welcome Week website and check our housing website, and always keep checking your email. And so we're going to be sending out updates and important reminders. And that's our main source of communication with our students, our email, and as well as our website. Okay, so Kenna, I'm going to toss it over to you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Jen. So as Dr. Jen mentioned, Welcome Week is basically your introduction to all things Mizzou. So it starts from that time that you move in and leads up to the time that classes start. And like I said, you're going to learn traditions, you're going to meet people, and you're going to get to explore our campus spaces. It's really the best way to become integrated into the Mizzou campus culture. And if you follow all of our helpful tips and tricks, you'll be ready to get started on your Mizzou journey. So next up, perfect. So basically what it is, 5 days of celebrating welcoming Tigers back to campus. So who should go? Basically from the moment you move in, anyone, once you get to Columbia, we'll want you to join us in celebrating and welcoming everyone to campus into the Columbia community. And so we want residential live students, off-campus students, transfer students, returning students, graduate students, everybody's welcome to participate. Like I said, it's before classes begin, and you'll have access to signature events, which are really our traditions at Mizzou. We want to teach you all the different traditions and make sure that you have an opportunity to participate in them as well. And then we'll have group activities to get you to start feeling at home and then meeting other Tigers that are coming to Mizzou. And like I said, everyone is encouraged to join. We'll talk a little bit about how you get involved with Welcome Week. But really it is for each and every one of you, new and transfer students, graduate students, people living off campus. Everyone has the benefit of going to Welcome Week and getting to know one another and having a good time. So as I mentioned, most people will automatically be assigned a Welcome Week group. So you don't really have to worry about getting involved in Welcome Week because we're going to reach out to you. And part of that Welcome Week group means that you'll have your own Welcome Week leader to help guide you throughout the week. If you're living off campus, so maybe you're a transfer student, a graduate student, Evans Scholar, or just living at home, you'll want to opt in to Welcome Week. So that Welcome Week small group, you can participate in the events without being a part of the small group. But if you want that small group experience where you're led by a Welcome Week leader, you'll want to opt in, and you can do that at welcomeweek.missouri.edu. Or we've got a QR code at the end of the presentation that you can scan and you can fill out that form really quickly. If you're participating in Panhellenic or Interfraternity Council recruitment, you will still have the opportunity to participate in Welcome Week activities, but you'll be led by recruitment leaders instead of a Welcome Week leader. If you have not done so already, I would suggest checking out the Fraternity and Sorority Life website. They have lots of great information on there, like the PHA guidebook. And then I believe PHA recruitment registrants received a really helpful email this week. So make sure that you read through that. And if you have any questions, to let them know. Or I think they have some upcoming webinars as well. Marching Mizzou, ROTC, and other early start programs will also have leaders that help orient them to campus. But again, everybody's going to have the opportunity to participate in Welcome Week in some capacity. But like I said, for the majority of folks, you're moving in on August 17th, 18th, maybe even the 13th, your Welcome Week leader will connect with you via your university email shortly before move-in, hopefully next week, if we get everything ironed out right. And Welcome Week is really just the beginning of your involvement experience and your time as a Mizzou Tiger. Involvement Week is just around the corner. Family Weekend also happens pretty quickly after school begins, and those are other opportunities to get you connected and to keep the fun going. So if you are like me and you like to save the date, mark it on your calendar. Involvement Week is September 10th through 17th, and that weekend is Family Weekend. And Involvement Week features a student organization fair, a volunteer fair, student employment information, and social events that really showcase all of the involvement opportunities here at Mizzou. So back to the focus on Welcome Week. During Welcome Week, there are so many events, well more than 100, and here are a few of the signature events that you'll get to enjoy. So Midnight Barbecue is Mizzou's largest block party. It has dance parties and great food. You might guess barbecue, but there's also vegetarian and vegan options as well. Paint the M, which is a Mizzou tradition. So since 1927, incoming students have painted the rock at Memorial Stadium. If you haven't seen it before, it is a bunch of smaller rocks that are compiled together to form a big block M right near the stadium. So a fun tradition, in my opinion. And then there's Tiger Walk. So this is the culmination of Welcome Week. You will run through the columns from the city side of Columbia towards Jesse Hall, symbolizing your entrance into the university and really just celebrating your first year at Mizzou. In addition to signature events, there will be academic get-togethers, student organization events, and even a movie series featuring recent blockbuster. If you're interested to see all of the events, you can go to welcomeweek.missouri.edu to browse the schedule. Not all the events are on there quite yet, but you should see those by the end of next week. And then you can also hop on over to engage.missouri.edu to view the events and even learn more about our recognized student organizations and programs. I also recommend, if you have a smartphone, you go over to the App Store or the Google Play Store and download MU Engage, the app. It's personalized to Mizzou. It's going to be the same thing that you get from engage.missouri.edu, but in a really easy mobile format. And it's a great way to connect you to not only Welcome Week, but again, Mizzou's 500 plus student organizations and our other involvement opportunities. So what to expect? Like I mentioned, early August, Welcome Week leaders are going to introduce themselves to their small groups via university email. Again, if you are one of those groups that maybe is participating in other things, you might get reached out to what is called a Pike High or a Marching Mizzou leader. But for most people, it's going to be that Welcome Week leader. On August 17th, if you're moving in on that date, we're going to have an ice cream social happening. But if not, don't worry, there's still plenty of things to do if you're moving in on August 18th. In fact, that's like Dr. Jen said, when the residential floor meetings are happening, and that's where your Welcome Week leader is also going to meet you too. In fact, your Welcome Week leader and your RA are actually going to meet you at that residential floor meeting, talk about some important business, and then you're all going to walk over to First Roar together. So First Roar is a huge pep rally where you'll get to learn all of the Mizzou cheers with different leaders across Mizzou and then take your official class photo. On August 19th, we'll have a bunch of academic events. So you'll get to know people within your major, some professors and other leaders in your academic units. There's also a campus resource fair. So if you missed the opportunity to talk to IT when you were doing move-in, that opportunity will be replicated on Friday of the Welcome Week schedule. You'll also again get that opportunity to paint the M. RHA, which is the Residence Halls Association, will have block parties going on, and then Midnight Barbecue will happen later that evening. August 20th, which is Saturday, there are student organization events. Mizzou football is going to have an open practice and a carnival going on. And then after you attend the carnival and the open practice, you can hang out at the stadium and check out a flick at Furrow. And then on Sunday, again, we really culminate it all with some of those strong traditions, like the Shakespeare's Pizza Party and Tiger Walk. So just a few things to keep in mind. As I mentioned, there are a few groups that need to go ahead and opt into Welcome Week. So if you want to be a part of that small group opportunity, you'll want to scan the QR code on the far right. But again, there is also the Welcome Week, just general schedule and website in the middle here.
And then the QR code for Mizzou Move-In, that's a link to our main move-in page on Residential Life's home website. It's going to include a link not only to your housing portal, but it's also going to be able to direct you to that move-in checklist. So those items that we encourage you to bring and the items that we encourage you just to keep at home. But it's also going to include important FAQs for our incoming students, as well as potential returner and transfer students too. So please, if you've got questions, please reach out to Kenna's office or to our office here in Residential Life. Our email within Residential Life is housing@missouri.edu. And if you have a specific question about your assignment or a specific question about a residence hall, it's always best either to email us or check our website to see if it's answered in one of those FAQs. But during move-in and during Welcome Week, we're excited to welcome you to Mizzou's campus. We ask that you have patience and that you also get excited about being a new Tiger. I know Kenna and myself and DR and Sadie, we're excited to welcome you to Mizzou's campus, and we're going to see you here in about a week and a half.
So just a couple questions, a couple little follow-up points. One, and I think this really is just to kind of reiterate, Jen, something that you mentioned, those move-in maps, which talked a lot about, those will hit the website on August 1st. Was that correct?
Yes, so
Yep.
they will, Sadie and her team, our marketing team, amazing marketing team that they are, they will be adding our Mizzou move-in maps to our website on August 1st. And then we're also going to be working on a Google Trip that you could also be able to download, but we want you to download that Mizzou move-in map or view it, because not only is it going to show you the directions to your residence hall, it's also going to show you directions on where to park after you move in.
All right. And I know a question that we get a lot is, so we're moved in, we're there, mom and dad, students are hanging out. What next? Should we stick around? What should we plan on? Should we plan on dinner? There's the floor meeting. What time do those things start to happen on that evening?
Yeah, so our floor meetings start at 7 p.m. that night. So if you want to grab dinner prior to those floor meetings, you're more than welcome to. There's tons of options in downtown Columbia that it's a short walking distance from all of our residence halls, so about a 5-minute walk or less, depending on where you're living on campus. But those floor meetings will start right around 7:30 p.m. And then, as Kenna mentioned, right after that floor meeting, your RA and your Welcome Week leader, they're going to take you to first roar.
All right. And then earlier on, we mentioned in passing kind of the one-stop shop that'll be set up in the student center on move-in days. And so, that's where folks can pick up their student ID if they haven't already done that. Can you provide a little idea of what else might be available at the one-stop shop this year?
Yeah, so the one-stop shop, kind of as the name suggests, it is a one-stop shop with all of our campus orgs and departments that are there to help our Tigers get started on those first couple of days. And so not only picking up your student ID, but the tech center will be there. We'll also have representatives from, from dining, from the Wellness Resource Center, from Student Health, as well as being able to answer questions about cashiers and financial aid and Mizzou Rec. We're also going to have representatives from Residential Life and our student leaders and organizations as well. And I think we're also going to have Welcome Week leaders there to help answer questions too.
All right.
Yeah, the Welcome Week leaders will be there to help greet you and navigate the one-stop shop. So if you have a question but don't know where to go, they'll happily point you in the right direction. And then I will also want to mention that the Transfer Center will be represented at the one-stop shop. So if you're a transfer student and you're looking for specific ways to get involved with other transfer students, they're a great resource to get you connected really quickly. And also if you are registered with Camp Trulask, which is with the College of Business, Trulask College of Business, that's where your check-in is going to be.
All right. Well, I think those are all the kind of the little questions and notes that I jotted down. Any final thoughts? Any last minute ads? Sadie, how'd we do? Thumbs up, two thumbs up. Excellent. All right.
2 thumbs up. Yes, perfect. We are so excited for the Tigers to come back to campus. We can hardly wait.
All right. All right. Well, on that note, that brings us to the end of our webinar for this evening. So just want to let everyone know, we did record this webinar. It will be available on the New Student Programs website. I would say in about 48 hours, but that would take us to the middle of the weekend. So probably I'm very comfortable in saying it'll be available on Monday. But rather than you popping in and checking our website every few hours to see if it's finally dropped, we will also send you an email letting you know that it's been posted. And I think we're going to include a few links, maybe to some of the Res Life and Welcome Week FAQs, so that you have those direct links to those additional resources. And so with that said, thank you all for joining us this evening. And we do look forward to seeing you on campus here in, just about 2 weeks. It's getting real, isn't it? All right. So thank you all. Have a good evening. Go Tigers.